Okay, we are live on Facebook and we're going to be on YouTube in just a second. Good morning. No, afternoon, everybody. So today we're going to be answering questions, your questions about the blades, plural, all the blades that Cricut has made for you and the scoring tools and when to use them, what to use them for. And I may not cover every single thing, but I have questions. Please put your questions in all caps. And I have some of my admins copying those questions and bringing them to a document. So I'm not going to sit here and scroll and go through all your questions. I also asked this question, what are your questions, on my Patreon page and in my group Cricut Design Space with Melody Lane. So we have some of those questions already for you to ask. I'm going to go over the blades first and explain what they are. I have done a video on the different blades, but I thought it would be better to do one live so I can answer more of your questions. I have some things cut out and done with the score tool and the scoring wheels, because I get that question all the time. What's the difference? Why do I need those? So I have an example. So good afternoon, everybody. We're also going to announce the winner of the Instagram giveaway for one Cricut Maker and 1 year of access. Yay! Are you guys excited to see who wins? Okay, I got to kind of drop. Let me do that really fast. If you have any questions on Facebook or YouTube, please put them in all caps and we're going to collect those questions. So if I've already answered those questions, I'm only going to do one. I'm not going to answer the same question over and over. If I've already answered those questions, some people in the chat may help you answer it if you join later. If you join later, you're missing what I'm saying now. So there's no reason for me to say that. All right. Thanks, guys. Okay, I'm using the random comment picker. It's a random Instagram comment picker, which randomly picks the winner for me. It's nobody I'm choosing. It just randomly goes through the comments and chooses a winner for me. Yes, it is a fantastic prize for the winner, isn't it? Okay, let me screenshot this. I'm excited for the winner. I recognize the name. So maybe I should just wait a few minutes before we do that. Should we go over the blades first? Or the winner? Oh, I have to launch my... I'm not seeing my questions from Facebook.
Is it off?
No, just my comments. I gotta find it. I forgot to launch that.
Maybe close it out and come back to it.
No, I never opened it.
Oh, that's why we can't see.
Yeah. Okay. Now I can see your chat from Facebook. Sorry, guys. Winner, please. Winner, please. I'm killing you. I'm so sorry. Okay. Remember, put your questions for the blades in all caps. All right. Are we ready to see who the winner is? Let me... Bobby says do blades first to build the excitement. Okay. Also, Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, I do a video every Saturday just on Design Space. We don't talk about blades unless it's in Design Space. So Saturday morning is going to be Q&A for beginners. I need to know your questions for beginners. Sometimes we take it for granted when we already know Design Space And it's hard to teach you something that I don't know you need to know because I learned it 4 years ago. So I'm going to be collecting questions on that in the same way. Okay, and today our focus are on Cricut blades and Cricut tools and Cricut machines. I'm not going to talk about third-party accessories and things like that. It's all just Cricut today. Okay, are we ready? Well, let's see who the winner is. Corey James. So I took a screenshot from the random name picker. It chose Stamp by Core, which I could click on that and it brought me to this. And it's Corey James. I recognize her from Facebook and YouTube comments and things like that. I'm not sure if she's in this video. I don't see her today, but she is the winner of the Cricut Maker and Year of Access. Next month, I have another giveaway. I'm not sure yet how we're going to enter that. And I have an idea of what it is, but I'm not sure exactly yet what it is. So keep following me on all my social media so you can find out how to win. Congratulations, Corey. Okay, so here's Design Space, but we're not going there yet. Let's go over to the blades. Okay, I have it close up just so we can show you. So I have this little blade box. I created this with the Cricut chipboard and Cricut paper, and then I made this little box to keep my little extras in. Okay, let's go over the blades. First off, there's these blades. These are housings. They're the exact same housing. You can use either one. They're the same. I'm not sure they make the silver one anymore. I think they might only make the gold one. I'm not positive. You get one of these with all your machines. These fit in all Cricut Explore and Maker machines. These are for the fine point blade. The premium fine point blade, not the fine point blade. If you are going to the store to buy replacements for those blades, for these housings, either one, this is the one you need. Premium fine point blade. It has a white cap. If you see any like this with the red cap, this is old packaging. This is the same thing. They just changed their packaging. See the difference? But if you see any of these, go ahead and get it. They work just as well. This one's prettier, it's gold. But they work the same. These are the best blades to replace your machine. Oh, and these are 40% off. All of this is 40% off right now at Cricut. I do have a link in the description below if you need to stock up. And if you have Cricut Access, you get 10% off. So I suggest you get blades before you need them. And you can use my code MELODY, and that will give you another 10% off if you have $50 in your cart. So these are the ones. Now, you may see some in the store. They might be in a little container like this, or I don't remember what they look like. I don't buy them. They have the gray caps. They will say they're for the Cricut Explore machine, but you don't want those. If you only cut paper, the gray caps will probably work. They're going to cut into your mat, and that's another thing. I get lots of questions that it cut into my mat. That's okay. Can you see flowers, the daisies all over this mat? I don't know if you guys can see that, but you see cut lines in the mat. You see some glitter on this mat. I've been using this mat over and over many times with the glitter on it. So the ones with the gray cap, you cannot use on vinyl. They're made for the expression machines, even if they say the Explore machines. The gray caps are the fine point blade, not premium. If you cut vinyl, it will cut all the way through the vinyl. It is too long to use on the Explore machines or the Maker. Because it's too long, it would probably work with paper or poster board and things like that. If you bought them on accident, you could still use them. Another great reason to have these in more than one color is you could have, if you bought the gray ones, you could put those in one thing, and no, it does not work on vinyl. Okay, and then have one for vinyl. They also have a pink one. They call this one for bonded fabric. It's the same thing. It's just a different color. Now, for those of you growing up with somebody that sews in the house, you know they had fabric scissors. You could not use their fabric scissors on paper. They would cut, but they would yell at you. At least I got yelled at if I used fabric scissors on paper, because paper dulls the blade. So if you want your blades to last the longest, you might want a housing for paper, a housing for vinyl, and a housing for fabric. So then you know the pink one is for fabric, and whatever you choose, the gold one for your vinyl or for paper, or use fabric and vinyl together, because those do not dull your blade as much as paper. Also, glitter paper dulls your blade even more. Lynn is asking, what about the green caps? I don't know of any Cricut blades with a green cap. I think I have video on the box. I do have a link in the description of where to get the files for these, because I share my files. Look, it's got a little heart on the end. Isn't it cute? I share my files with people who support my channel, and I even labeled them so you knew which one, what goes where. Isn't it cute? Oh, these have a heart on the end too. And these also fit inside your machine. So when you're not using your machine anymore, okay, let me flip up a minute. There's no plate in here. Look, they fit right inside there, and I can close it up. Isn't that awesome? Okay, back to the blades. Sorry, I got excited. Okay, so I think we have these covered, right? Okay, let's change the blade. I'm not going to open a new one because I don't know if I need to change the blade. So I'm going to show you how to drop the blade. You push in this little piece here and see how that blade comes out? You can just pull it out. I've never been cut doing that. Maybe you could take tweezers if you're afraid. Now, to put in a new blade, the new blades come with this cap. I don't think I have a new one that's open. I have the deep cut one. The new ones come with a cap over the sharp end. So some people have put these in upside down, thinking the cap, the end without the cap, is the sharp end. So you take it like this. This is the sharp end. It comes out. So I'm pushing down on this. It's real easy. You just grab that between your fingers and push with your thumb, and then just drop it in, and then go like that. Undo it, and it's there. See, you just push it and it comes out. Now, if you're cutting glitter paper or your paper's ripping a little bit, one thing to do is push this in and wipe it with your finger, because there could be paper dust or glitter on the end that you cannot even see. Now, I have been wiping my blade like this. I've never cut myself, but please be careful. Don't cut yourself. Don't stab yourself. I've never done that, but I guess it's possible. So that's how you change the blade. It's really easy. And I want to show you, okay, let's talk about the deep cut blade. Okay, this is the deep cut blade. Someone just asked, what are the black covers? Now, some of them might be a silver blade with the black covers. The new ones come like this. Now you get two. And these are for the deep cut blade. Now let me tell you about the deep cut blade. Some people think the deep cut blade cuts deeper. That's not true. The deep cut blade does not cut deeper. It goes down to the same level as the regular blade. What it does is it cuts on a different angle, so it cuts higher. Let me see. I was going to try to find a picture online and then I forgot it. Let me try to draw. This is going to be fun, guys. I'm not a very good drawer. Okay. So let's, I got to think. Here's the two blades, but it's got a different angle. Okay, I don't know if this is very good. So this would be the deep cut blade. This right here is the sharp edge. Now this is not a very good drawing, okay? This is the regular fine point blade. Now this one is more pointier and it cuts higher on the blade, where this one, oh, you know what I could do? Let me get another color. Okay, hold on, let me try again. Let's say that's the regular blade. And then the blue is the deep cut. So the blue has a taller, it has more sharp edge. This is the sharp edge. So it's taller up. And the fine point one does not actually have a finer point, and it doesn't go up as far. It's on a different angle. I hope that makes sense. So what the deep point blade does, it cuts thicker material. So if the material is thicker, it doesn't go deeper, it cuts it up higher. Yes, Joy, the point on the deep cut blade is narrower, so that you can do more intricate cuts better. So if you're cutting anything intricate, even vinyl, paper, anything, it's best to use the deep cut blade, even if you're not using it for the deepness of the cut. Also, I want to show you. So you can use these deep cut blades inside the regular fine point blade housing. The difference in these two housings are only the length. So if I line these up perfectly, you can see the black one is shorter. You can see more of the blade on the black one The reason this is shorter is because it works with thicker materials. So if you use a thick material, this blade housing might touch your material if it's too thick. So that's why we have the black housing for thicker materials. And I don't know if you can see the focus come in. And if I have it set to the right. See the tips of the blade? Now, some people say when the blade stops cutting, you can poke it in foil, like a ball of foil, to sharpen it. That does not sharpen the German carbide blades that these are made of. It may work better after you did that, only because you cleaned it like I do with my finger. Because that cleaning the blade like that really helps it cut better. But it doesn't actually sharpen it. Because unless you have really cheap blades that you're using from somewhere else. But I don't know if that works or not. Okay. I'm going to see if there's any questions on these blades. Somebody says, is there a blade for engraving? There is not yet, but I hope Cricut makes that. Cricut is planning on making a lot more blades for the Cricut Maker. Okay, and what materials do you use for cutting the deep cut blade? Foam. To cut like fun foam or craft foam, you need the deep cut blade. And whenever you choose your material in Design Space, it tells you what blade to use. And I'm going to show you how to edit that and choose a different blade or a different scoring tool that you may need. Bobby says he cleans his before each use. That's really smart. Oh, yes, the deep point blades used to come with a blue cap on here. Can you cut cork with any of these blades? I think you can. It would totally depend on the thickness of the cork. You can also cut the Cricut faux leather on any of these blades, the ones I just showed you. You do not need the deep cut blade for the Cricut faux leather. For the real leather, you need the knife blade, but for the thin leather, all you need is this. I also saw a question about corrugated paper. I don't know if this is in my list of questions. I'm just remembering it. Cricut has corrugated paper. It's not real thick, but it does make music or noise, whatever you want to call it. It's fun to work with. You just use your fine point blade. You do not need a deep cut blade for this. Just your fine point blade works. Mary's asking, my machine came with fine point blade. Do I need different blades for vinyl and HTV material? No. Your fine point blade works for almost absolutely everything, except for chipboard and wood and things like that. But it works for paper and vinyl and iron-on and all those things. Thanks, Karen. Okay, now let's go to the tools for the maker. Okay, see all these? They also work on the maker. You get these tools with your maker. Well, you get one. The deep cut, you don't get that, but these all work in the maker. If it fits in your Cricut Explore machine, it will also fit in the Cricut Maker. Here is the rotary blade. You know this is the rotary blade. For one, it has a really sharp wheel. It has that little screw, and it has this. This is the scoring wheel. This one is actually the double scoring wheel. I want you to see the difference because many people say their machine is not recognizing their scoring wheel and they're putting this one in. Now, I totally understand why they might do that. This one came with your machine and it's a wheel. So it's a scoring wheel. So they're looking in their little thing of tools and say, oh, this must be the scoring wheel. Remember, this is not the scoring wheel. This is a very thin, sharp blade. It's very, very thin. The scoring wheel is not sharp. Scoring wheel will never wear down. You never have to replace the scoring wheel. The scoring wheel also has a number right here. This is the double scoring wheel, so it says 02. Kathy's asking what else besides the foam should the deep cut blade cut? I don't really know. I haven't cut, but I don't use that unless I'm cutting something intricate. I've not needed to cut it with anything else but foam or intricate cuts. So remember, the rotary blade is for fabric, lace, tissue paper, crepe paper. It can cut 1,000 different materials. This has force much stronger than any other machine. The Cricut Maker can go up to 4,000 grams of force, where the Cricut Explorer machines go up to 380. And then there's other cutting machines that don't even hit 300. Most of them don't. Okay, so we have the rotary blade. And that has a rotary blade kit to replace the blade. So it comes with this cap you would put on to change the blade. You never have to touch the blade on the rotary blade. It also comes with a little screwdriver. It's like a little Phillips screwdriver that you can keep for glasses or other little things. So you just put this cap over this to change the blade. It's really easy. There are paper instructions with pictures and everything on the inside. I think I've showed how to do this once. Okay, so let's go over the knife blade. Here's the knife blade. This is only for the maker. Any tool you see with this gold gear on it is for the maker. Anything like that is for the maker. I also get the question, can you exchange the tips for these? If I just get a knife blade, can I just order the replacement blade for the knife blade and put it on a different housing? The answer to that is no. You have to have a housing for each machine. For each blade, not machine. The housing for the score wheel does come off, and you can interchange the single score wheel and the double score wheel. And I'll show you in a minute what the difference in the score wheels are. But I've had people buy the replacement blade for the knife blade, but not the housing. It won't work. Also, good to know, this will not work if you're using the iPad. You have to have a computer to use the knife blade. Okay? It won't work. The reason is, using the knife blade sometimes, the chipboard and the wood, to get such a precision cut, it needs to cut it more than once. It can, if you have an intricate cut, it can take a couple hours to cut. If you have a simple one, it might take 10 minutes, but a more advanced intricate cut can take a few hours. And if you were using your phone and you got a phone call during that time, it would ruin your cut. And Cricut does not want you to ruin your cuts. So this is best and only able to use through a computer. To change the blade on this just screws off, right? I think. Well, I can't unscrew it. I forgot how, or is that? I've changed the blade in this. I don't remember how now. There's instructions. But you don't have to actually touch that sharpness. I thought you just turned this. I don't remember now. But this is the knife blade replacement kit. So, oh, I remember now. Now that I'm looking at this, it comes with this little cap, and you put this little cap on top of here so you're not touching the blade, and you won't touch it on accident because you have this plastic cap on. You put that on, and then you can turn it to release this one. And then you have a replacement blade. It's really easy. I knew it was easy. I just forgot how to do it. It's been so long. Haven't had to replace that. Another question we get is, when do I change the blade? Well, you change the blade when it's not cutting correctly. When it's like tearing the paper or tearing the vinyl or not cutting through. There's something wrong. I always rub it with my finger when that happens and try again. Maybe do a test cut. You don't want to waste all your materials. So do a test cut and see if it's cutting better. And if it's not, then it's time to replace the blade. Remember, if you're cutting paper and glitter paper, it dulls your blade faster than cutting vinyl. So that's why I like to use two different ones for vinyl and another one for paper. Is the info on the blades and their uses on the Cricut website? I'm sure it is in the help section. You could interchange the blades on the, well, are you talking about, she's saying the gold housings? Anything with these, you cannot interchange these blades. You can interchange these. So with this gold housing or that silver housing can be interchanged. There, Bobby has a link that goes over the blades and their purpose. I will put a link to that in the description of the video after the video. Okay. Where is... Let's talk about the scoring. Okay, Sue says she cut her fine point blade and it cut all the way through. Was it the one with the gray cap? I went over that in the beginning. And also make sure it's all the way in and not sticking. I don't know how you do it not all the way in. It just kind of does that. Okay, the scoring. Now you can buy this in different ways. You can buy it with just the single score. The single score has a little number on there. If you're holding it upside down, it reads 10. If you're holding it the correct way, it's 0, 1. So you can buy this. It has little straight lines to know how to put it in. There we go. You got to get it in just perfectly. Push this down and this pops out and you have to push it in all the way and let go of that to change that. So you can buy it just like this, or you can buy it with this and this, or you can buy it just this. The only reason you would buy the number 2 double scoring wheel alone is if you already have this. Okay? It won't work if you just have this and you don't have this. I suggest you buy them together because it's cheaper. They're on sale also. I always like to have them just in case you need them. So it's really easy to change. I say that, but then you gotta, if you look at it, you can change it. Okay? And you won't cut yourself. It's not sharp at all and it won't wear down. Okay. Now let's answer that question I see all the time. What's the difference in the scoring? So when you're scoring, this is foil poster board by Cricut. When you're scoring poster board and things, it's best to put this on the mat upside down, pretty side down, for glitter paper and other things that you're scoring. I want to show you this. So this I scored by folding it and going over it with my little tool there. So see what it does? It kind of makes it not a pretty cut or score, I mean. And then this one is done with a scoring stylus. This is a stylus. This goes into your A side of the head, and I can show you how to put that in your machine too. I'll show you how to put them all in your machine. This is not sharp. This does not score as well as you want it to normally. That's why the scoring wheels are amazing. But you do see a little score there. Here's the other side. Okay, the score line's right there. And you can't see it on camera. Okay, so this one was the single score line. That one is right here. I don't know if you can see that either. It's kind of hard to see. This one is the double one, so you can see it here and here. The reason the foil poster board calls for the double one, and they will all tell you in Design Space which blade you need. Okay, it tells you. You don't have to guess on any of this. Everything will tell you what blade to use. So I also took this one. This is from the same piece. I just scored it and then I just cut it with scissors in half. And this is the fold I folded. And then this is the score wheel. This is the this is the scoring stylus. This is the single score wheel, and then this is the double one. This gives it more of a flatter edge right there, so it won't like break. And because like if you score, this one's not doing it too bad, but oh, there it goes. You can see some of the white through that. That happens when scoring materials like this. So it won't do that on this one. Oh, it did a little when I bent it back and forth. But it gives it a nicer edge for the double one. But sometimes I don't listen and I just use whatever score wheel is in my, oh, here it is in my wheel. What was I going to show you? Oh, let me go to Design Space. And, oh, I need a score line. So to do a score line, you just hit Shapes, Score Line. And we'll just score the middle of this. And I have to attach it to have a score line. And I'm going to click Make It. Okay, and we're going to hit Continue. So I'm going to show you how to change the scoring, the score wheel. Let's say I don't have a score wheel because it is an extra purchase and I have not bought it yet. I just opened up my maker. I pretend a lot. Okay, I'm going to go to Poster Board. Foil Poster Board. Okay, now it's telling me to use the double score wheel. I don't have the double score wheel. So I'm going to click on Edit Tools. right here is Edit Tools. So now I can choose the double score wheel, the single score wheel, or the scoring stylus. Let me tell you, if you only have a single score wheel, the Cricut does not know if you have the single or double. It will know if you have the scoring wheel, but it won't know which one of these. So you don't have to go through this only when you want to use the scoring stylus. So I'm going to click the scoring stylus. And that's how you can change it. Now it says load the scoring stylus. If you have the wrong tool in here, well, actually the scoring stylus, it doesn't know. If you chose the scoring wheel and you don't have the scoring wheel, it knows. And it will come back out and say, please load the scoring wheel. Okay. Now, do you want me to show you how to put them in the machine? Let me zoom this up. I'm going to move the camera. Look at my little Cricut sitting by the palm tree. Oh, he fell out of his chair. Okay. I move this over. You can just push these. Okay, to load the scoring stylus, you put it there and you push it down. Sometimes I push down here and up with my thumb here, and make sure you hear like a little click. Okay? And this arrow will go away. You hear that click? Close that up. That's for all machines except for the Explorer Air. No, except for the Explorer 1. The Explorer 1 only has one housing, and you'd have to take out the blade housing and put an adapter here, and then you can use the scoring stylus. Okay, we have a question. Can the Explorer 2 cut the maker patterns? The patterns for fabric can be cut by the Explorer, but you cannot cut the fabric. It'd have to be bonded fabric. So it can cut them, or you can cut them out of paper and use as a template. Okay, now to put any of these in here, it has a plastic covering. Thank you, Melinda. So the plastic covering goes on the outside like this, and this part goes in here. Now don't worry. I just kind of push it in there, and then you close this one, and then you close this one. Now, like, sometimes I feel like it's not closing. You have to hold that, and this little piece here has to go in front of that, and then you close it. When you first get it, it's a little hard to close. But don't be afraid. Don't worry about it. You're not going to break it. To change to the regular one, you just push it in. And this, I have loaded this up too high in the past, and then it didn't cut anything. So make sure you're loading that properly. Okay, let me check my question document. And some of these I've already answered. One of them is I bought some shiny corrugated paper, kind of metallic finish for scrapping and paper crafts. Not sure how to cut on the Explorer 2. Will it smush? Is there a blade thick enough? I have the blade that comes with the Explorer 2 and the deep cut. Okay, so whenever you buy something new, I suggest you do a test cut. Put a triangle or a heart or something, just a free shape, and just cut a small little piece to see if it works. I can't answer her question because I don't have the paper she's talking about, and I've never cut with it. Even if I had it, if I've never cut with it, I couldn't answer her question unless I tried it. So anytime you have a new material and it's not by Cricut, so you don't have directions for what setting or anything, do a test cut. Pick something that's similar to it. If it's a lot thicker, I would try the deep cut blade. If it's too thick for the deep cut blade, then you can't cut it on that machine. You might need the knife blade or sometimes even the rotary blade. And then you just have to choose something that is similar to it. When you find a setting that you like, you can change, or find a setting that's close to what you like, you can change the settings and create your own. Let me show you that real fast. I'm canceling this cut. So you can go up to this hamburger menu. You can manage custom materials. My dog is dreaming. Melanie Moore has a great question. Can you score acetate? You can score acetate only with the scoring wheel. I have tried to score acetate with a scoring stylus. It does not work. Only the scoring wheel works, and it works wonderfully. No, you can't do it with the Explorer 1. Okay, you can, if you pick an item on here that's close, that let's pretend you just chose poster board, you could come back here and find poster board. These are not in alphabetical order. They're in order of the pressure that they use. And you could change it a little bit. But if you have a material, like she was saying, that is not Cricut and is not really close, you can add your new material. You can give it any name you want to name it. And then you can, let's just do test. Okay, now I'm going to save that. Now I can change the settings. I can also set it to cut 3 times. It's a little thicker, so I want it to cut through. I can also choose if I want the deep point blade or the rotary blade. And then that's how I can add my new material. So next time I use that material, I just go to this. Thank you, Brenda. That's so sweet of you. I'm going to cancel this because I'm not going to keep, well, I guess it did keep it. So now I can delete it. I guess the cancel was to change anything here. I can delete it, and it asks me if I want to keep it. Yes, I want to delete. Okay. Let me go back to see if there's any other questions. That's a great question. I get a lot. I can't even speak now. Typically, only cut paper, iron on, and vinyl on my Explorer Air 2. Do I need to upgrade to the maker if these are the things I usually cut? If these are the only things you want to cut, then no, there's no reason to upgrade if you're not going to cut or score, because it scores a lot better. There's no reason yet to upgrade if you're not going to be, if you don't want a deeper score, if you're not going to cut wood or chipboard. No, these are made out of chipboard. These, I mean, you can make so much with chipboard. Um, if you're not going to make things out of chipboard, if you're not going to be cutting things with a rotary blade, like crepe paper or tissue paper or fabric or lace or things like that, or thick leather, then there's no need yet. But they're always working on new things coming out for the Cricut Maker. So anytime anyone asks what machine should I get, I say if you can afford it, get the Cricut Maker. Because there's so much more coming, you won't need to upgrade the machine again. You can just buy more the blades that come out. If you're only going to cut vinyl, I say get the Cricut Explorer 1. You don't need two housings if you're only going to cut vinyl or iron-on and things like that. You only need to spend just a little bit. Or if you're not sure, you don't have a lot of money, but you need a Cricut right now and you want to save up for the Maker, but you want to cut now, get the Cricut Explorer 1. Just start with that. There is not one machine that's more for beginners. They all use the same software. I've gotten a question on a few of my videos on my Design Space classes that are free every Saturday. And they're on my channel, my YouTube channel, in a playlist that you can go back to anytime you want. They're all free. And thank you so much for that super chat, Mary. What was I saying? I say, if you can't afford the Maker, but you want to start cutting now, get the Explorer 1. You can usually get it for around $140, I think, and then save for the Maker. Okay, I'm going to check for more questions. I see one on Facebook right now. Can the stylus in writing mode be made to emboss the paperwork? You don't even have to put it in writing mode. You can turn any image into a score, and you can score any image. I did do that with really thin metal. I got the thin metal like 8 years ago, I'm going to say, on clearance at Hobby Lobby. And it's very thin metal. I turned my butterfly image into score. Every layer was a score. I attached it, and then the bottom layer was a cut. So it scored all the lines of the butterfly. I have pictures of that. I don't have it anymore. It was so long ago I did that. But it scored all the lines of the butterfly and cut it out. And then I stuck a magnet on the back and stuck it on my refrigerator. The Cricut Maker is the most heavy-duty machine. It has metal parts in it. It is heavier. It is made to last longer, and it's made to withstand the pressure of the 4,000 grams. A lot of people said, why can't they just upgrade the machine I have? Why did they have to make a new machine like the Maker? I don't want to upgrade. I want to use the machine I have, but I want to use the knife blade and I want to use the other things. Well, if they physically, they couldn't just add the pressure to the old machine. They had to redo the parts. They had to make them stronger to do that. So the Cricut Maker is made to last longer. It's a stronger machine. It has stronger parts, and it's more expensive to create too. It costs them more to make the Maker. That's why it costs more. Let me go back to questions. Does the blade cut through Mylar? Yeah, I think just the premium fine point blade will cut through Mylar. Okay, Claire says there was a post on Facebook about tearing during cutting, and people suggested they try washi setting. So they're cutting, well, I don't know if she's talking about, usually with vinyl, if it's a real intricate and it's not cutting properly, and maybe sometimes with paper, try the washi setting. That's a lighter setting, and it's better for intricate cuts. She says, how do we learn about the different settings? Like that is just something that people have tried and shared, and it works. It's not something that Cricut says, oh, you should try the washi setting. They might now, but so things like that we learn in my Facebook group, Cricut Design Space with Melody Lane. If you have any tips, come and share your tips with us. Make a post and say, hey, look what I just found out. I used this and it worked great. You know, share what you're learning. That's what the group is for. Share your projects too. We love to see projects. And somebody says the blade is cutting through the vinyl. That would probably be the gray cap. I've answered that. I think I've answered most of these questions. Blade not being recognized by the machine. So if you have the correct blade in there, it has to be the correct blade, because we've had this question. My Cricut is not recognizing my score wheel. They had the rotary blade in there, and that's a common mistake. That's why I started at the beginning with that, you know, make sure you have the correct blade. If you really have the correct blade and it's not recognizing it, then that's the time where you want to call member care. Oh, great question from Cindy. How do you recut on the maker or do a second cut on the same sheet you just cut? All you have to do is hit the cut button. I kind of feel like I need to show you. Okay, let's go to Design Space. Let's just do this circle. I'm just going to put the scrap paper. Now I have the scoring stylus in the machine, and I don't want to mess with the scoring wheel, just because I just want to show you this really fast. So I'm just going to go ahead and say, hey, I'm using the scoring stylus. Yeah, when you click the button, it says, hey, I'm using the scoring stylus. Okay. So now let's go up here. Whoops, the camera's about to fall. You see the blinking button? That's telling me to upload my mat. And I'm gonna push. When you load your mat, if you're a beginner, you need to push this in. Many people say, why is it not cutting in the right place? You have to push while hitting the button. You don't have to push hard. You just have to push a little. So now this button is blinking. This is the cut button. See that? I'm going to push that. It's thinking. Kelly, I'm so glad I taught you more. Oh, Jamie, I did not answer your question, Jamie, on Facebook, and I think she asked this. It's on my list to answer. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to cut this again. We're going to pretend it didn't cut all the way. So this button is blinking to unload the mat. If you want to cut it in the exact same spot, we are not going to click that blinking button. We're going to skip it and click the cut button. So I'm going to click the cut button again. Now it's preparing. See, all the buttons turned off. Now this one is on, and it's going to do the exact same thing it did before. Now I can unload. And it did, you can't tell. Wait a minute, let me see. This paper was wrinkled when I put it on. It did it in the exact same spot twice. You can tell because there's no off cutting. It's perfect circle. And the score line, can you guys see the score line? It's hard to see. But when you can't see the score line, all I do is just bend it and it just shows up for you. It's not that hard, really. Okay. Let me answer Jamie. Is it Weeble? Weeb? I don't know how to say your last name, sorry. She asked about cutting chunk glitter on leather. I've never cut it. She's cutting it on the maker. What I would do is, I almost said a taste test, a cut test. So you would just cut like a little heart or something is a really good thing to test and see if it cuts all the way through. If it doesn't cut all the way through, you can add more pressure or just click it again to recut it again. I've not cut it, so you just have to test cut it. That's all you can do if it's something you've never cut. If you find a really good setting for it, I went back and showed you how to change the setting. So if you missed that, you might want to watch it again. Heavy cardstock is just the regular fine point blade. The fine point blade is for most things, the premium fine point blade. You can use the deep cut blade on other things and it won't hurt. It does not actually cut deeper into the mat. Okay. Okay, here's a question about connection with Bluetooth. This is a question we see a lot. My Air 2 will no longer connect to my computer via Bluetooth. How do I connect? Well, it depends on what you're using. So if you're using a Mac, you want to turn off your Wi-Fi in your Mac. Then pair the Bluetooth, then turn on the Wi-Fi again. Sometimes the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth can cause interference in the Mac systems. And in Windows, you go to your Bluetooth settings on your PC and remove any Cricut machines listed. Reboot your computer. Open Bluetooth settings and turn Cricut back on. And then repair your machine. The code that you need to repair your machine for everybody, anytime you need to pair and it's asking for a code, that code is always 0000. It's 4 zeros in a row. When Windows updates the connection, it loses the connection to your machine. So anytime you update Windows, you might have that problem. So you just have to repair it again. Julie's asking, why doesn't the maker say knife blade on cutting birch wood? If I were to use the knife blade, would it ruin my maker? Okay, let's go to Design Space and show you. So we're going to change the settings here. We're going to go back to Browse Materials, and I'm going to go to Wood. So here are all the settings for wood. You can only cut balsa at 1.6 millimeter. 1/16 inch is usually what they sell it for, or 3/32. Or basswood at 1/16, which is 1.6 millimeter, or 1/32, which is 0.8 millimeter. Now birch says permanent adhesive. So this birch that they have in Design Space is only for permanent adhesive birch, which is very, very thin. So you don't need a knife blade to cut thin. If you have birch wood, that you could try one of these other ones depending on the thickness, but you need to know every type of wood excuse me, has a different hardness. Even balsa wood, from one tree to another tree, they might have a different balsa, a different softness and hardness depending on the tree. So this is not always an exact science of how it says to cut. It may be different. But that's why if I were to choose this, it will just say the regular fine point blade. It won't say the knife blade. If it's a thicker one and you want to try it, I would choose one of the other ones and just do a little test cut. Maybe just a little square for that. Not too small. Because when you're cutting with the knife blade, you need bigger pieces. It doesn't cut very intricate. Okay. Let me check more questions. Okay, I've answered most of these questions. Like, they bought the knife blade. What housing do you use for the knife blade? You have to use the knife blade housing. The deep cut blade has a 60-degree angle, and the premium fine point blade has a 45-degree angle. So that 60-degree angle gives it more cutting space, so it's better for thicker materials. Can I use the deep cut blade case from the Expression in the Explore machines? Thank you for asking that. That's a great question. And the answer is no, you can't. Anything in the Expression machines or the Expression 2 or the Mini or the original Cricut, they do not work in the current machines. If you have cartridges, we can link those to your account and use all those old cartridges. You will own all those images, but you cannot use the blades and housings and things like that. If you can only buy 3 spare blades, which ones do you recommend? I would do the premium point blade and the deep cut blade and another premium point blade. Probably. It depends on what you cut. If you cut a lot of wood, I would do the knife blade. It's whatever you cut and whatever you go through the fastest. Whenever they're on sale, I stock up. I'm never without a blade. Actually, I live in the Villages, Florida, and somebody else who is in our Cricut club in the Villages, they were cutting 200 intricate cut invitations, and she went through all of her blades and needed more deep cut blades. And I have extra blades because I purchased them on sale. So she called me and bought mine. I don't always have that available. That's not something I do, but she had an emergency and came over and picked it up because I'm always trying to be prepared. And I always buy on sale because when it's not on sale, you don't want to have to run to the store and buy one and pay full price. The best setting for intricate cut cardstock. There is a setting called cardstock intricate, I think. So I would try that setting and use the deep cut blade for anything intricate. Can you cut real leather on the maker? Yes, you can. You can use the knife blade and cut real leather. If it's really thin, you can use the regular premium fine point blade. Acetate, should I cut it with more pressure? If it doesn't cut through good for you, you can always cut with more pressure. And someone's asking what material can I cut with a Cricut maker? Let me show you. Let me go back. Okay, I'm gonna hit these up here. I have the maker. If you don't have the maker, it might look like different materials. There's an unlimited number of materials you can cut with the maker. Let's say that. But I'm going to scroll. All of these, well, most of these, I think, with this low pressure you can cut on the regular machine. I'm going to scroll all the way down. So extra heavy fabrics like burlap need 3,800 grams of pressure, and it tells you the rotary blade. So all of these materials, it can cut. Duck cloth, I don't know what that is. Flannel, denim, canvas. Can cut toilet paper if you want it to. Seersucker, suede, muslin, cashmere, gauze. You cannot cut gauze on the other machines. Tulle. So, I mean, well, the list goes on and on. Okay. Yeah, the maker has Bluetooth built in. Thank you, Jenny. She says she loves my golf cart rides. Okay. The blades are on sale right now for 40% off. If you use the link in the description below, I do get a small commission from your purchases from any of those links. So you can click any of those links and buy anything on the Cricut site. Cricut doesn't pay me to make these videos. So clicking on those links also help with some of my giveaways. All right, I'm not seeing any more questions. Let me see on Facebook. Jenny says print and cut, trying to cut a sticker with print on it. The machine keeps trying to cut out the letters that should be printed. I answer these questions in my Cricut Design Space classes all the time. And in my group, Cricut Design Space with Melody Lane, I will answer your question though. All you have to do is select it all, draw a box around it, your words and your things, and select it all and click flatten. You need to flatten it. And they all have to be selected at the same time when you flatten. You can't flatten them separately. You have to flatten them all together and it will cut out around it. All right, I think that's it. I think I covered everything. Yeah, it's been an hour and 15 minutes. Do I have a card making tutorial? I have 1,800 videos on my YouTube channel. Most of them are crafting, most of them are card making. I have a lot of card making tutorials. I have them in Design Space and how to put them together. And remember, all of my Design Space classes, all my classes on YouTube are completely free. I know there's a lot of people selling memberships and things out there, and they say you get free classes with them, but I do a free class. I answer your questions and show you so many new things every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. And you don't have to watch live. You can watch the replay. There's, I think, 83 or 84 videos in my playlist. You don't have to watch. You can watch 5 of those videos and you'll be a master at Design Space. You don't have to watch them all. And if you log in to YouTube and watch the video, it will know, like, you might not have time to watch the whole video. You can stop it and you can watch it later. YouTube knows where you left off. You can also add them to a watch later list. There's a little plus sign underneath the videos on YouTube. You can click that. You can make your own playlist. So you can go back to your channel and find all the videos that you want to watch later. I've cut thin metal, Mary. I've also embossed it with a scoring tool. Depends on how thick it is. And like I said, always do a test cut if you're not sure. I get so many questions. What setting do I do this on? Well, try it first. And then if something's not working and you need help, then ask. I don't know what setting to put this on. I tried this setting and it didn't work. And that would help you get an answer, correct answer, really quickly. All right, guys. Oh, and every Saturday I do a giveaway. I did see somewhere in the beginning of this video, somebody said, I didn't know you were doing a giveaway. I do giveaways every single month, every single week. Every Saturday I do a giveaway on my Cricut Design Space classes. You have to be live in the video to get the giveaway for that one. I also do a giveaway every single Wednesday. If you use one of my projects and hashtag Melody Lane Inspired, you are entered to win. Even if you did it in January, you might win next week. So you're always entered. You can do as many projects as you want. They have to be something from one of my projects. And I give that away every single week, every Wednesday. And purchasing through my link helps me pay for those because those come out of my pocket, the Saturday and Wednesday giveaways. And I just did a giveaway in my Cricut Design Space group where I said, hey, post your receipt for your purchases this week and I will randomly pick someone and pay for their order up to $100. And the winner had over $200 order, so I PayPal'd her $100. So that all helps when you click my link. When you use my code, it doesn't help me at all. It doesn't hurt me. It saves you 10%. I use the code too. But using my link, it does help and helps me be able to do giveaways. Yeah, my code is Melody. All right, guys. I love you. I thank you. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking my videos. That helps other people see them when you subscribe and when you like them. And when you comment below after the live video is over, that also helps. So I really appreciate it. Appreciate you guys for being here. And love you guys. And I will see you Saturday. But let me tell you, then I do videos on Tuesday and Thursday. I will not be live on Thursday because I'm going to be at Cricut headquarters. I will be live on Saturday. I may be tired because my flight doesn't come in till midnight Saturday morning, but I'm going to come home and try to at least do the class. So, also this week we have a spotlight video. Kiona Baker is going to be in our spotlight after class. It will be a lot of fun to learn about her and what she's doing in the crafting world. So join us Saturday. Love you guys. See you Saturday.